I have been saying for well over a year that Joe Biden is suffering from severe dementia. So, what is surprising to me is the reaction of the press, who are now trying to act as though they didn't know that this was the situation. And the reality is that there have been a lot of people who have been working overtime to try to cover up the fact that he is not cognitively all there. He is suffering from dementia. We can see it. We know that. And so I have been asking the question, many people have been asking the question, who is running this country? Who is making the decisions? And I think that that's where we really need to go with these legitimate questions.
Abandoned ship. Abandoned ship. That's the word that we're getting from the Democrat Party, the civil war that is going on in the Democrat Party over whether or not Joe Biden should stay on as a nominee for president this year. Many of these Democrats have completely abandoned the ship because Joe Biden is going to take them down. If Joe Biden loses in the landslide, as all indications are showing right now, all the down ballots are probably going to get obliterated. So remember, people are voting for the president, you're voting for Senate, you're voting for the House, you're voting for governors, local elections. They're all on the same ballot. And what the trend is, if you vote for the Democrat president, more than likely you're going to vote for the Democrat governor, senator, etc. Sometimes there's some switching going back and forth, but usually a voter tends to stick with one party. So if Joe Biden gets obliterated and most of the voters do not vote for him, it's going to crush everybody under it. So Democrats are in full-blown panic mode, and we're going to look at some clips of a couple of Democrat apologists, a couple of Joe Biden apologists. We got pencil neck Adam Schiff, known liar. Remember Adam Schiff, he's the man that was leading the charge on the Russia hoax. Putin and Trump are in an intimate relationship. They're sleeping in bed together. They're best buddies. They're butt buddies. All of that crap he was pushing. This man was on the House Intelligence Committee saying that he had access to top secret information that he couldn't release to the public. He would say, I am the chairman of the Intelligence Committee and I have top secret information. So I know for a fact that Trump was in bed with Putin, but I just can't tell you. This man went on CNN, NBC, ABC peddling this lie for years. Turns out it was nothing but a lie, and he suffered no consequences. So this Trump-hating son of a bitch, he's abandoning the ship. He's saying that Joe Biden needs to get a cognitive test. And we also have CNN's Sanjay Gupta. Sanjay Gupta also, he had concerns about Biden because as a medical professional, this man knows deep down in his heart of hearts, he knows. But for the sake of his paycheck and his left-wing reputation, he lied to us. He carried water for Joe Biden too. So we're going to take a look at these two fools admitting that Joe Biden needs to be tested. But Adam Schiff has a little twist with his. Let's take a listen.
Didn't put concerns to rest. Are you confident he can beat Donald Trump, or do you think he should drop out of the race?
The interview didn't put concerns to rest. No single interview is going to do that. And what I do think the president needs to decide is, can he put those concerns aside? Can he demonstrate to the American people that what happened on the debate stage was an aberration, that he can and will beat Donald Trump? Given this Supreme Court decision now essentially making any future Trump a dictator and a king, it's all the more important. But here's the thing. I think if the president takes the time to consult people and has an open mind about this, he will do what Joe Biden always does, which is he will make the right decision. He'll make the decision in the best interest of the country. That's what he has always done, and I'm confident that's what he will do here.
You heard Nancy Pelosi say that it's legitimate to ask, was this an episode or a condition? President Biden refused to commit to take a cognitive test. Do you think he should take a cognitive test?
Look, I'd be happy if both the president and Donald Trump took cognitive tests.
So that's a yes. You think he should take a cognitive test?
I think they both should be willing to take a test.
This pencil neck son of a bitch. So he's throwing Trump in there because, again, he doesn't want to inflame his left-wing base out there in California. He doesn't want the rest of the Democrats in Congress to go after him because he's publicly saying what they're all saying behind closed doors. So he's going to say, well, both of them, Trump and Joe. Well, let's do it then. Let's let Trump go again because he already had a cognitive test. But let's let Trump go for a cognitive test. so you can satisfy this BS that he's peddling because he's not serious about Trump. But let's let Trump go and let's let Biden go too. Then what you're going to say?
I think, frankly, a test would show Donald Trump has serious illness of one kind or another. But ultimately,
what? Like, where do they get this crap, man? These, bro, Trump derangement syndrome. This is a real disease. This stuff needs to be studied, man. So he's trying to deflect. He's trying to throw it in. Well, Trump is mentally ill. He's deranged. He needs to be tested. But Biden too. But, you know, Trump. So he's trying to put lipstick on a pig. He's trying to sugarcoat it. He really wants to say Biden is old and senile. The man has lost his marbles, but he's afraid. He's afraid to directly say it. So he has to say, well, you know, let them both get a cognitive exam. Trump is crazy, but Biden, go ahead. Please let Biden get one too.
The decision is going to come down to what Joe Biden thinks is best. And if his decision is to run, then run hard and beat that SOB. And if his decision is to pass the torch, then the president should do everything in his power to make that other candidate successful.
Well, they're cooked anyways because campaign finance laws is not going to allow them to just transfer all of that money that Biden has collected from these billionaire donors that they're always crying about, but take money from too, and all of these other Democrats who've donated money. They can't just transfer their money to another candidate. That's against campaign finance laws. Also, we are approaching deadlines in several key states where if you're going to be the candidate, your name needs to be on there. And some states, it looks like it's actually too late. So you can try to make them successful all you want. The Democrats could try to find some legal way to weasel their way out of it, but it looks like they're cooked. It looks like they're probably stuck with this guy unless Joe Biden resigns and lets Kamala Harris become the president, something like that. But they're stuck. They're cooked. And Adam Schiff is a weasel. He's sitting there calling Trump an SOB when he sat there and lied directly to the face of the American people for years. Sat there and had a key role in that impeachment hearing, lying. I remember he gave that speech and people talking about this is going to be one of the greatest speeches in history. People will look back in 100 years and say, oh, Adam Schiff was such a great man. He was an absolute liar. Absolute liar, and the only people who bought that crap were sheep. But let's get to Sanjay because we know what Adam is doing over here. Nothing but lying, even though he does admit that Biden needs a cognitive exam. And we're going to have more Democrats coming out saying this. So let's look at Dr. Sanjay, who lied to us. The main thing he lied about was COVID. But I'm not going to get too deep into that right now in this video. That's a different video. But he completely crushed and killed his own reputation lying to the American people about COVID-19. And he followed that up by lying about the condition by burying and covering up the condition, helping these CNN propagandists push the hoax that Joe Biden was completely fine. But now let's listen to his ass.
CNN's chief medical correspondent, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, is calling on President Joe Biden to undergo cognitive testing and share his results with the American people after what he calls, quote, concerning behavior at last.
Stop it. Oh, well, we just saw some concerning behavior. Last week, we finally saw concerning behavior. 2023, 2022, all the way back to 2020. You can even go to 2019. There was nothing concerning. Joe Biden was completely okay. But last week, there was some concerning information. This is how fraudulent Sanjay Gupta is. Why didn't you say this back in 2020 when we all saw that this man was senile, but his condition is worse now? Is it Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's, dementia? What is it? But Sanjay sat there pushing the propaganda with his CNN propaganda colleagues that Joe Biden was completely fine.
Last week's presidential debate. Sanjay Gupta is joining us right now. Okay, so Dr. Sanjay Gupta, I mean, what provoked you to do this?
Well, Fred, good morning. You know, first of all, this is not a political essay, it's a medical one. And I think a lot of the things that, people saw at that debate weren't necessarily new, but they were sustained. And I think more pronounced than what we had seen in the past. And I think that's what really provoked the essay. I think that the question really being raised is, have we been looking at episodes, intermittent episodes, or is this reflective of some sort of deeper underlying condition? And that's what I really wanted to get at. Let me tell you a few of the things that specifically jumped out. And I will also mention, as you're looking at some of these specific signs that neurologists noted, that after the debate, I got a lot of calls, texts, emails from my neurology and brain science colleagues from around the world, frankly, sort of highlighting some of these things. But if you take a look, slow response time, I think we saw that, sort of in a sustained fashion. Definitive word.
I mean, look at this list he has here. This is nothing new. But Sanjay don't want to act like this is brand new. Oh, well, we saw signs in the past, but it wasn't really a big deal. But now that we need to abandon ship, now that Obama is leading the charge behind closed doors to replace Biden, now that we realize that Biden is no good for us, for the survival of our propagandist networks, now we need to pretend as if it's such a big deal. Because last year, when people like us called this out, year before that, people like us called this out, said the man is senile, he's slow, he's falling all over the place, can't talk good, his mind is shot. We were called conspiracy theories. CNN and this panel of propagandists called us the conspiracy theorists while they gaslighted and said he was completely fine. But now Sanjay wants to sit here and act like, oh yeah, now it's time to say that Biden is senile.
Retrieval mix-ups, rambling, sometimes confused speech, reduced voice volume as well, and reduced facial movements. And these things can all be connected. We often think of cognition simply being memory, but if someone has an underlying movement disorder, for example, that can actually affect cognition in the sense that people may have more flattened affect, face, and not really be speaking as quickly or as loudly. Now, if he were my patient, if he were my dad, frankly, I would want to get more testing done. Cognitive testing and more detailed movement disorder testing as well. Now, you've heard, Fred, what the White House has said about this. They say, look, it was a bad night for him. He had late nights.
Yeah, that's enough of that. So, yeah, it was jet lag. It was a cold. It was a bad night. Oh, Biden handlers didn't prep him good. All of that crap. And here we are with CNN propagandists trying to act like that they didn't call us conspiracy theories. They didn't call us a bunch of tinfoil hat wearing nutcases for saying that Biden was senile. They're trying to sit here now and abandon him. But at least he called for the cognitive exam years later. But I don't think that Biden's going to do it. So you got Adam Schiff, you got a couple other notable Democrats there calling for cognitive exams. A lot of these Democrats are abandoning ship. The Democrat voters don't want Biden. But here's the thing. Biden is not going to do that test. I don't think he's going to do a cognitive exam because he knows that he's going to fail it. Well, he might not know, but his handlers know. And I don't really care too much. If they do it, cool, whatever. But if they don't, it doesn't matter because the American people can see through this fraud. Everybody saw during the debate, even the people who are brainwashed on a regular basis by the mainstream media, they even saw that this man is senile. You do have some people who are extremely loyal, like black women, for example. Extremely loyal to the very end. They will go down with the sinking ship to Joe Biden. But outside of them, everybody knows that this man's mind is shot. So, honestly, we don't need a professional neurologist, a psychiatrist. We don't need any of these people to tell us that this man's mind is gone. We can see it. We can see with our own eyes. Gupta was saying if it was his father, because a lot of us have relatives who have had cognitive issues, and we don't need a professional to tell us that something's going on here. We all see it. We're not stupid. But they tried to gaslight us, and now they're trying to come over to our side, acting like they're giving us news. No, you sons of bitches are just trying to jump off the sinking ship and gaslight us as if you know better than we know. But yeah, that's the story there. These lying-ass bastards, Sanjay Gupta, Adam Schiff, and other Democrats are finally calling for a cognitive exam. Let me know what you guys think about this. Leave me your thoughts in the comments below. Share the video. Thanks.